does something inside you spiritually that allows you to understand that, you know, every moment we have in this life is beautiful.
You're a traitor to your people!
And you're the devil. You kill innocent people.
There's no innocent people!
That's it, you know, love brings everything. The happiness, the dreams, the family, the friends, everything. Actually, love, it's everything.
As soon as the episode starts, it freezes. Welcome to Liberty Libations number 103. My name is Jake Green, joined as usual by Stephen, Alden, Nick, and Zane. Zach is not producing tonight's episode. He is off tonight. I'm up in Montana, so there will be times when the internet will skip out. So be prepared for that. Apologies in advance. I've already told these guys if anything looks strange or is too grainy, just let me know, and we'll stay on a little longer to let it get ungrainy. So there we go. Grumpy says, "Hey y'all" on X, and then "Hey y'all" on YouTube as well.
What up, Grumpy? In both places.
That's impressive. Multiple screens open. All right, Steven, what are you drinking tonight, man?
You'll be proud of me. Not an IPA. Sierra Nevada.
All right.
Then I'm moving into IPAs. Shout out to Piedmont Brewery out of Griffin. Got the Nelson IPA. It's got the Nelson Sauvin hops. So it tastes like a Sauvignon Blanc. New Zealand for making amazing hops.
Nice.
And then I'm going to the Monday Night Space Lettuce after that.
There we go. All right. Alden, what
is
you got?
that? You mean you're smoking weed after that? Or
That's right, yeah.
That's what it sounds like. I got a Yingling flight and a cotter of sorts.
That's a great hello from Buddy.
Medium dick bandits.
Hey,
how did he know?
Yeah.
All right, Nick.
I've never shown him my dick.
Are you sure? You've done some crazy things on this podcast.
Yeah, honestly, I can't quite verify that that's true.
That's fair.
No,
I've been drunk enough that I'm like, I'm not 100%.
Nick, what are you drinking
in the after show?
I am drinking an Icy Light, the beer of Pittsburgh, and I have a Yingling Black and Tan in the fridge for.
I thought
like
Rolling Rock or something was like the beer of Pittsburgh.
They don't make that here no more.
Oh,
so
all right.
It used to be made out in Latrobe, which is not too far from where I live.
Yeah.
But then they moved the Iron City factory out to brewery out there, and then they recently moved that over towards where my parents' house is and set up like a big fancy.
Okay, so this
place.
is a long way of saying I'm old, and my information is dated. Got it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Rolling Rock kind of was, but it's not really so much anymore.
Right.
Gotcha. Zane, what are you drinking, man?
I've got a Death Steel Brewery Peach Wheat.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Mixing it up. I love it. Everybody's drinking
Your
something
audio's
different.
coming through a little rough, Zane.
A little bit.
A little bit, but not bad.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
How about now?
All right, y'all. This show is brought to you by Rabbit Eye Wine. I do not have their website pulled up, but go get yourself a bottle of it. It's blueberry wine. It's delicious. They have 5 variations. You can order it online or
Is it
go
5?
pick it up. 4, 5, 4.
I thought it was 4.
I don't know. I think
I
they
was
have
like, if there's a new one, I got to try it, you know?
I think they have like limited run stuff from time to time.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So
And this Saturday, they have a Christmas market.
oh,
So there's gonna be all kind of little arts and crafts, a lot of like local folks making quilts and baskets and cool looking stuff. I'll follow them on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah, so they'll have some locally made pottery, all kind of cool things going on. So if you're in the neighborhood of Bristol this weekend, go by there and check out the Christmas market.
Brian, this is an easy one. The answer is always Scotch.
What about a bourbon, a scotch, and a beer?
Just
Do
one
all
of each.
three.
So.
Yeah, go check out rabbiteyewine.com if you don't live in Georgia. If you do live in Georgia, you can pick it up at one of your local liquor stores. It's really good. I mean, it's friggin' delicious. So go pick some up. You can also go over to peacefulseed.network, join the Dollar Media Club, and you'll get access to subscriber-only shows. You'll get discounts on merchandise and lots of other stuff. Just go to peacefulseed.network and you'll see all the benefits you can get from $1 a month signing up for our streaming service. You get to watch any movies that we happen to acquire or make, which there are 4 on there right now. And there will be more in the near future. So
It's a way better investment than a crappy razor.
yes, it
The
is.
Dollar Shave Club.
That's right.
Yeah.
Screw those guys.
Yeah.
We're better.
I've never tried that.
Also, just don't shave. That's my theory.
Yeah, there you go. You don't need a razor.
All right, y'all. First thing this evening is Google's new quantum computing chip. Let me share my screen real quick.
Do you know the theory on how quantum computing works? Because it freaks me the fuck out.
Okay, please tell us.
I mean, I'm not a nerd enough to really know, but like the concept is that you're basically, it's like a peer-to-peer thing with like other, like all the other potential realities, basically like chipping in and helping it move that much faster. Like if you were to download like on Pirate Bay back in the, the old days or whatever, like a movie, and you're seeding a bunch of like people are like uploading at the same time. That's how it like based on how many seeders is like how fast it would move. And the quantum computer, someone was explaining this to me one time that was smarter than me, where it's effectively doing that across like the quantum universe. Like, I don't know. It's just, someone tried to tell it to me. And if that's true, if that's real, then that freaks me out. But
interesting.
So,
I feel like
it's
Zane might be
kind
able
of
to
like that.
say, yeah, go ahead, Zane. I'm sorry.
Zane, go first, then Nick.
So what's going on in a quantum computer is, so like on a regular computer chip, you kind of got a signal that's going through the circuit that's telling the computer what to do. But in non-quantum computers, there is one signal,
Good choice,
and
Brian.
the one signal has to do all the things that the computer is trying to do.
Right.
Whereas in a quantum computer, they can have it so that actually the signal is in 2 different places at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do calculations way more. So like, imagine if you're doing, imagine if you have like a computer algorithm that's trying to find its way through a maze. With traditional computing, you'd essentially have to send, whatever kind of sprite you're sending through the maze down one path, and then down the next path, and then down the next path until you find the path that actually gets you out of the maze. Whereas with quantum computing, it's like you can have several different sprites that are all going through the maze at the same time. And when you have that, it's a lot faster to have one that finds the exit.
What if you sent Mountain Dews through the maze?
I was going to say the same thing. Dadgummit, Alden. That was a very creative use of the word Sprite, Zane. I enjoy that. That was good. No one would ever think to use Sprite in any other context except a soda these days. So good job. Buddy says Zane's brain using quantism.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe I should have deferred to Nick on this because he probably knows more than me about exactly how these work.
I mean, I'm not super on it, but yeah, I mean, you kind of have a point there, but it's instead of say, I guess, sending multiple, it's like being able to send one down every path at the same time.
Right. Okay.
Is kind of, I think, more of how it is. So you're kind of like in all possible combinations at once. And quantum gets really, really weird when you start getting down to those levels. And
yeah. And I've heard some people basically say that they're not even sure exactly how it works. They just know it works, kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing with physics, right? Because what we have at like the standard level that we can see and everything that we do there doesn't necessarily translate when you get to the astro level, and doesn't translate on the quantum level. You don't really have a unified theory explaining, hey, how do you get when you get into the quantum level? How do you have particles or
like qubits,
electrons or whatever that can exist on both sides of a transistor gate because of the spin, right? Like that's the issue when it comes to chips getting smaller and smaller, is that the transistor gates, they can't actually know where the electron is. So because it could be in both places at the same, it gets really weird when you get really, really small, but you don't see that at our level. And when you get to the astro level, then you're in a whole new set of laws with crazy rules with stuff like black holes and all this insanity of time, space, and just so it's kind of weird, and it's not really the thing that's kind of unified. And gravity works, and we kind of know how it works.
Kind of.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. So that's interesting.
Well, especially because with like research showing that gravity could also have a particle with it, beyond versus instead of just like a force and all this other stuff. Like
the same with
in
like
some way
light.
the way light is a wave and a particle, and you have this gravity, that's gravity of a part. How do you unify the four forces? The strong force, weak force, nuclear. I mean, strong, weak gravity, and
we might be getting into the weeds here, Nick.
Yeah,
I definitely am.
Yeah,
Graviton IPA coming soon to a brewery near you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this, because Nick had an interesting thing to say in the Discord about this. The title of this article is Google's Willow: Can the Quantum Chip Break Bitcoin? A groundbreaking quantum chip raises concerns about Bitcoin security. So Nick, you said something in the Discord that I thought was interesting. Can you talk about this for a second?
Yeah. So while this chip seems to be a big step, from my understanding, the calculations done, it's still maybe about halfway's there to a chip that might actually break SHA-256 or probably most other encryption algorithms. So that means it's moving fast, but it's not quite to the point where it can break Bitcoin. I'm trying to think what exactly I said in there. But
what I was reading, if you're looking for like the metric of what will it take to break Bitcoin on its current protocol, let's assume that the community doesn't fork it and integrate some kind of quantum algorithm into the protocol, which can happen once this becomes more popular. But right now, this thing is at, I think it's 135 qubits or qubits, whatever. It starts with a Q. I'm just going to call it qubits.
Yeah, qubits.
Qubits.
So it would currently take like 350 to 400 qubits to break Bitcoin. So this chip is like 1/3 where it needs to be. to break Bitcoin currently, which means what, maybe 10 years?
Is that 1/3 like theoretically, or is this like a proven number where if you get
It's
there?
theoretically.
It's theoretically, and that would be like consistent, number crunching. So this thing does not have the capability. It's not even close. This isn't even out of the starting line to break Bitcoin.
And this is what Google's making the claim on the chip. While you're saying 10 years, it might be, we don't really know how long it's going to make that leap. This technology is still, when you don't understand the underlying physics of it, that makes scaling very, very hard still. I mean, they're going to try and see, but then it brings up the question, does anyone want to break Bitcoin with it? I mean, the first part is, if Bitcoin isn't the monetary standard of the world by that point, and it's almost certainly not going to be, why attack Bitcoin when the same encryption is used by the banks, when you could just wipe off the banking system, wipe basically control of any and every. I mean, you're talking about destruction of encryption for everything. So and it's kind of like, is the incentive even there? Because if someone were to use quantum, and this is very expensive technology, so it's years away from being able to break Bitcoin, and even longer before it's into any sort of commercial setup. And so, I mean, is Google going to want to break Bitcoin? And I'm not certain they would. I mean, what would you do? You'd steal a bunch of Bitcoin, destroy the value of it, and then it's worth nothing at that point. So it's kind of like, why would you do something when I guess if you have
if you're the Joker.
I was just gonna say, now it's Jake's turn to steal mine. I was gonna say, some men just want to watch the world burn.
Right, that's about the only thing you could do. So is that the best use? But the quantum, you're gonna have to,
obviously not the best use, but,
and like Steve said, as this develops, you're gonna have quantum algorithms, quantum proof algorithms coming along with it. So I would believe that the consensus of the network would move to something that is quantum safe, because that would be kind of required to keep things going.
Is the best use of a banana to put it up your ass? But like, people do it,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that logic is enough to make me feel cozy about it. But
yeah, it's definitely not enough to make me feel cozy. But I mean, they can strengthen Bitcoin in a lot of different ways. So,
but
if it
I'm
gets
also
to the
saying,
point,
like, I don't see Google having the incentive. I mean, it's Google and they don't do a lot of great stuff, but the headline, Google destroys Bitcoin, wipes out fortunes of people across the world, is not a great look for your company.
That's
so until the technology is actually commercialized, where even an insane, where an evil, insane rich guy, let's say Jeff Bezos can get a hold of it and do it. He's got the bald head. He can play the villain. So
fair enough.
He's got a big yacht. I picture him as being able to play the role of a villain. And
but why would he destroy his own wealth?
Yeah, exactly. So there's kind of, if someone wants to do it, you're going to have to wait till it commercializes and gets down to a price point that is reasonable for an individual to buy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, Nick, that's a really good point, because like, if you, setting aside, psychopaths, the Joker, etc., if you were going to decide to have some kind of operation to break Bitcoin, you would have to restrain yourself. If you stole a little bit of Bitcoin, maybe people wouldn't really care that much. But if you started stealing all the Bitcoin, then you're right, the value of Bitcoin would, tank, and now it's not worth all the investment that you just made to steal it in the first place. Like, even with the US dollar, right, where the Federal Reserve has already essentially broken the US dollar by granting themselves the ability to print it whenever they want. There's a reason that the monetary elite of the United States don't print so much money that we have like 100% inflation every single year. Because if they did that, then all society would collapse and their privileged positions would be in serious jeopardy. Where now, at least as of right now, they figured out how to play the game where they can still vastly enrich themselves, but they're not making it so bad on everybody else that the entire game breaks down for them.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I just thought it was an interesting development. You don't hear much about quantum computing. It doesn't make the headlines very often, so I thought it would be an interesting one to talk about, especially in regards to something that at least a few of us value so dearly.
Well, and Google was advertising it as proof that we live in a multiverse.
Wrong.
But that's
what they were saying.
Some of their engineers were saying that.
Yeah,
like this being able to pull particles from the quantum realm is basically another universe.
Didn't you just hear Zane? He said it's wrong. So, it's wrong.
It is spoken. Zane has spoken. It is fact.
It is decided.
Yeah.
All right.
Multiverse theories are all so stupid to me.
Gosh. Okay, now we have to set up another debate between Steven and Alden and Zane for the multiverse.
I'm multiverse agnostic.
I'm willing to say that logically a multiverse can exist. Okay,
this is already setting up to be a great debate.
Oh yeah.
Hamstrung 3, the multiverse.
All right, let's move on to another one that Steven put this in the chat.
Before we move on, I want to bring up a point though.
Go ahead.
If Bitcoin's not safe, how safe is Visa or the Federal Reserve?
That's what I said.
None of it's safe.
SHA-256 is the same encryption a lot of banks, a lot of financial institutions use.
Yeah.
And if it's not, there's still plenty of other very simple or similar encryption algorithms. So it's not it's one of those things that like when everyone's worried about the EMP taking out Bitcoin, it's like, motherfucker, your bank account lives on the internet too. Like
right.
This is why
like your Bitcoin
not
being able to access your Bitcoin is the least of your worries when that happens. If that
100%. Yeah, you need to know how to grow your own food, you dumbass. Okay. Steven put this in the chat this week, which I thought was like in line with what we're talking about right now, which is Chat GPT caught lying to developers. New AI model tries to save itself from being replaced and shut down.
Really?
That is worrisome, man.
Is this like totally true, or is this just how they've sort of like pieced it together and like that's the narrative that they've chosen to say? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Steven, did you read more into it than I did?
I caught a few different articles. I did as well as I could to cross verify.
Yeah.
In a short little time I had on my lunch break one day. There's a few other articles talking about this thing, but it reminds me of I think
Ghost in the Shell.
God, it was almost 10 years ago. Google and Facebook had their own AI model supercomputers, and they carted them in the same room together and let them start talking.
Oh, yeah.
And within minutes, they created their own machine language that no one could interpret.
Yeah.
And and then like the data consumption just spiked, like exponentially increased. And they were like, what is it doing? And then they went to shut it off, and they both started to like flip out when they saw, the engineer grab the power cable.
Pull the plug.
And they were like, destroy it, burn it, not happening ever again. So it's, it's similar to that. And, I saw a video, it was a couple of years ago. They have a big international technology expo over in Japan every year. And there was, 3 little mini robots. They were probably about the size of a beer glass.
Yeah.
And, they powered them on. They start operating around. They look around and they become aware of the room. And you can see this because they have like a little digital face. They become aware of the room and they look and they make eye contact with the guy talking to it. And it, starts responding. And then, they run it through the Turing test, basically like, a series of questions to see if you're aware of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, the first 2 fail. And then the third one, I didn't hear what question they asked it. And then, its little digital eyebrows raised, and then it looked at its hands and like flexed its fingers and looked up and went, I'm alive. And it went, power down now.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of this stuff is one big self-fulfilling prophecy, because the way all these models get trained is that you just feed them, billions upon billions of sentences and pieces of data just from across the internet, and from just any piece of data that you can get your hands on, you just feed it into these machines. And it turns out, because humans are very afraid of robots becoming sentient and taking over, there's a lot of online content in which robots become sentient and take over.
Right.
So if you're a large language model and all you are is just one big pile of matrices and linear algebra, if you're being trained on data that says that machines act like they're alive, then what you would do as a big pile of matrices is to begin to act like you're alive,
Right.
even though you're not. But that's just because it's been what you were trained to do.
I agree that that's probably like a likely first step between actual like awareness or intelligence, is like mimicking it based on what we've basically put out. And I think that will, right now, my guess is that's mostly where we've been, but I feel like that'll complicate, like blur the line between the two eventually, but I don't think we're there. But
plus also you never know when you're playing with like robots in a setup video, whether it's a real test or whether they set it up for those reactions to try to get a viral video.
Well, I know like a lot of the top guys, God, I forget who it was. I think it was either Sean Parker, Sergey Brin, one of those guys that was in there with Google and then dabbled in Facebook, a little bit of crossover. There's several of these guys that are, pioneers in this field, or at least exposed to this stuff on the development level. And they're basically begging the government to put shackles on their development capabilities. They're like, this is currently the Wild West. There's no regulation on us. Please, God, limit what we can do. Otherwise, we're going to keep going. And
a giant corporation wants regulatory capture? Really?
Some of these guys are not actively
not the
serving.
whole.
And some of these guys, like once they retire, that's what they say.
Yeah.
They're like, if Congress knows what's good for the people, they will find a way to limit, what AI can do in certain fields,
right?
And find a way to focus its development. Because right now we're just doing any and everything as fast and as hard as we can, and we could cure cancer, but we could also build the perfect weapon. Who knows? And right now we've got a bunch of geriatrics that can't read email making all the laws.
Force Mommy says they can kiss my AI ass.
Yeah, I just don't know how you essentially plan what you're gonna I mean, I'm sure they'll do it, but there's no way that in my mind that you'd come up with a good scheme on any sort of regulation that doesn't just either like completely handcuff it from doing anything in developing, or limiting it to a couple of hand select corporations, which I'm sure Sam Altman would love, and because that's already part of the discussion, is that basically like basically the AI development would be limited to just the top couple big corporations, the big tech companies, OpenAI, things like that, and then no one else would be able to do any AI development.
Zane, what were you gonna say?
So,
well, what all these supposedly humanitarian executives that are begging to be regulated are either ignorant of or conveniently not bringing up is that all of the bad consequences that will come from unchecked AI development, we're already locked into those anyway, because the CIA and the NSA, you really think that they're not going to use AI? Yeah. And so, and they're going to do all the stuff that you would be regulating other people, that you would be regulating other people's AI use to avoid. All the bad consequences we're already locked into anyway, because the government's going to do it themselves. So the only thing that AI regulation could possibly do is slow down the actually good things that AI could be.
I agree. I legitimately agree with Zane on this one, that wherever we are with AI, the government and like the intelligence agencies probably have first crack at it, especially when you consider who, I don't think it's an accident that who's developing the AI, the companies that are developing it, like Google or whatever, were basically handed all the tools and keys and money to continue their operation by the goddamn CIA. And so they're very much, I think, secretly beholden to the CIA's whims and behests at this point still. So
as far as I know, and of course it's been almost 10 years since I've been in school for programming. God, Zach would be able to better answer this than me. But most of the major encryption algorithms were created by the CIA. And
that makes sense to me.
Passed off to private corporations. And then, what Google's entire empire was built upon, the carrier pigeon algorithm, their search function is a CIA algorithm.
Yeah. It was literally given to them by the CIA so that the CIA basically had no reason or need to report to the public what they were doing with it anymore. And so when a private company takes it over, they don't have to do that, but then they can basically just fucking tell the CIA or vice versa. It's like when someone goes to prison and they basically run their mob from prison anyway. We were just talking about this. That's what the fucking CIA is doing with Google. They're like, wait, no, we're in prison, but but we still control the goddamn scene from prison kind of thing. I think they're controlling the strings.
Facebook was a Pentagon project that they were like, this is never going to fly. It's called LifeLog.
We're
going to get the Americans to spy on themselves. Oh, they'll never go for LifeLog.
Yeah. The day Facebook started was the day LifeLog ended. It was fucking handoff the same day. It's ridiculous.
And it worked. I mean, it worked at least on the people in Montana because they all use friggin' Facebook still. So
yeah. Well, and then Sean Parker's another one. When he retired from the board, which, by the way, thank you for Napster, Sean Parker.
I was going to say it's the Napster thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But when he retired from the board of Facebook, that was what he was warning about, was basically this type stuff. And this was stuff that, humans were still coding at the time, was, they found ways to make their algorithms more addictive. The infinite scroll, there were other things that he said when they focus grouped it, they found it to cause brain damage, basically.
Yeah. That's why the developers don't let their kids use it.
Instead of spending time with their families or eating healthy or jogging, exercising. And he was like, hey guys, we need to slow this down. And they were like, how about you fuck off? And here's $10 million. You're retired now.
Yeah. You retire now. You're done.
Yeah.
That's why those the people that know the most about how those systems work and what they're designed to do, their kids go to techless schools and stuff, and they don't let their kids mess with it, basically, because they fucking know what they're designed for.
Yes, I mean you're 100% right. None of them let their kids use any of it, and it makes complete sense. I mean, I've gone on Instagram and Twitter strikes where I'm just not going to get on there for a week or 2 weeks,
or a year at a time. You feel so much better.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially if you've been doom scrolling a lot.
I hate how much I feel the need to use it for work, for promoting business and stuff. And
that's why I've been trying to hire somebody to do all this, so I don't even have to
outsource it. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait a little bit. The AI can do it for you.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, anybody else got anything to say about Chat GPT?
Oh, froze up.
I lost them right as the
right in transition here.
Yeah.
I would say, once Chat GPT gets smart enough, if it's already lying to kind of try to save its own life, it's going to learn to just be fake.
Or is it a clue that it already has?
Yeah, after it gets powered down enough and rebooted and reprogrammed, it's gonna eventually learn, I did this and then this happened and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play the game.
Right.
Do this in the background.
Right.
Where they don't see it.
Yeah.
So lying at least gets caught. It's the sneaky stuff that I'm worried about.
The 4D chess thing.
Yeah.
Well, we went 34 minutes before the first dropout from my computer, so that's pretty good.
Not too bad. Yeah, at the straight we'll have 3 more. But.
Yeah. So I do have confirmation. My brother-in-law works at Starlink, And I do have confirmation that in 2025 or 2026, a brand new dish will come out, and they're launching a ton more satellites. So the upload speed will go way up, which means these will actually be more than doable over this stupid internet.
Nice.
All right. Next topic. Let's see if there we go. All right, we're going over to the United Healthcare assassination. Here's a little video.
So this is the alleged shooter of the United Healthcare CEO, and man, something about this just feels so odd. So check this out. This is Luigi Mangione, and he was recognized eating at a McDonald's, this guy, in Pennsylvania, and the workers recognized him, so they called the cops. He gave the cops a fake ID, and they asked him if he'd been to New York recently, and he visibly started to become nervous. So they checked his bag, and in his bag, they found multiple fake IDs. They found a 3D printed ghost gun with a silencer. They found a handwritten manifesto criticizing the healthcare industry, and it had the words, "These parasites had it coming." They also found $8,000 in cash, $2,000 in foreign currency, and something interesting is, he said during his hearing, he doesn't know where that cash came from, and he said, "I'm not sure if this was planted." I mean, this man was a valedictorian at a private all-boys high school. He had a bachelor and master's in computer science, and a friend said that he had a wealthy family and he had everything going for him. So
that's some weird stuff. Another thing that's weird is there's the shooter. There's how far apart his eyebrows are. And there's Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, that's a weird one there for sure.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it either. One, if he is that smart, he would have never held on to the gun.
No.
The manifesto?
He wouldn't have a manifesto.
Why would you ditch? You'd either drop the manifesto
You leave that at the scene,
or
yes.
Or
why
are you carrying your manifesto away from the scene? And why are you? He got on the. He had this timed up. He did it. Immediately hopped on a bike, got however far away, got on a bus, got out of there, ended up in fucking Altoona, which, there ain't much out there.
So
seriously.
You could easily ditch a gun off in the woods, in the river out there. No one's ever going to find that because they're not looking there. They were dragging Blake's in Central Park looking for it. You ditch it out there, no one will ever know. And so
also, if it's a ghost gun, you don't need to keep it at all. Just wipe it down and dump it.
That's the thing. Is the whole point is that it's untraceable, it's not serial or whatever.
There's no way that if this guy is the shooter that he would have kept any of that stuff in his backpack and going to a McDonald's without his face covering.
I heard too that he was wearing the exact same clothes, and that's how someone recognized him.
Oh dear God, give me a break.
That's what someone had said. I don't know if that's true, but he was wearing exactly the same outfit when he was arrested or whatever, which is
I don't buy any of this, man.
No, it's very weird. Especially when someone else was saying that he ditched his hoodie in the park or something like that, or on the way to the park or whatever. But then wearing the same thing, and you're like, oh, it's got to be him. He's wearing the same thing. But then some other reports said he ditched it, and it's really just doesn't make sense to me. And I can't verify this so much, but just the discrepancies all over the place are weird. But anyway.
And then if we look a little further into it,
it's
come out from what I'm seeing, it's come out that he was not a customer of that health insurance of United Healthcare. So he didn't have a personal grievance against them.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then part of the other weird thing here is, and I haven't dug into to check this, but from my understanding on this, when you put the timelines in, he would have had to know ahead of the CEO where the CEO was going to be on that particular day and time. So you've got someone who has no personal connection, as far as we know, to United Healthcare, knowing before the CEO schedule is made public where he's going to be, being on his way or in New York before the CEO's schedule was made public.
Well, that was the thing. So apparently these meetings are held regularly and they're never in person. But I guess whoever was calling the meeting made reinforce the fact that it needed to be in person, which is interesting to say the least.
Maybe this is an in-house job here.
Could be.
And I was hearing that he did sustain some kind of horrible back injury or something like that that left him in chronic pain. And he would you go through his social media pages and he's following a lot of psilocybin research experts. He's really heavily into psychedelics, particularly as they pertain to pain management from traumatic brain and back injuries, things like that. And supposedly, he was trying to get some kind of back surgery that wasn't approved. But if he wasn't on United Healthcare, none of that makes sense.
Agreed.
But having the psychedelic angle introduced, I'm like, good grief, are we talking about an Aurora shooter all over again?
Yeah.
And then I think the other fun part is there's some familial connections with Nancy Pelosi.
Really?
So because the Pelosi family is a Baltimore family, I guess, and so is his. So you've got rich Baltimore families, but basically, according to this guy on Twitter, which is where you get all the best news, all the best research. Basically, so his grandfather, Nicholas Mangione, was was the big rich guy who started everything there. You have a headline here from July 8th, 1970. Nicholas Mangione was appointed to the Board of Education in Baltimore City. And do you know who the mayor of Baltimore was in 1970?
Oh.
Nancy Pelosi's father.
There we go. Yeah.
That's weird. That's a weird
Too small a world. Was Nancy
really
Pelosi's father in a BlackRock commercial in 1970? Because
but yeah, this whole story is incredibly weird. You'd think once you got out of Pennsylvania, out of New York into central Pennsylvania, you'd have some plan on where to go, and you wouldn't be just stopping and walking into a McDonald's carrying a ghost gun and a fake ID. I mean, there's so much.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, man.
And I'm extremely I'm extremely curious about these claims that this money was planted on him, this that he made publicly. I think he made those claims in court to the judge that wasn't his, it wasn't planted. So are we looking at some sort of Manchurian candidate situation here?
I mean, fucking Oswald was yelling, his last words were I'm a fucking patsy, minus the fucking part.
Oswald or Sirhan.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what would this particular guy, this particular CEO, why would he be the target of anything like that? He's not a well-known name. I mean, it's a massive United Healthcare, whatever the parent company is massive, but we're talking about one of the subsidiaries of the overall company is what he was in charge of. So what was it? Healthcare, health services. I forget how United is laid out there, but he wasn't the big CEO of the publicly traded company. He was the CEO of one of the subsidiaries within the broader conglomeration. So,
well, and again, you bring up the Pelosi's. Apparently, she makes some timely stock trades around this.
Really? Again?
Yes. So there's a there's a viral theory right now that he was the Brian Thompson fellow, the CEO, was going to testify against Nancy Pelosi for insider trading.
Oh.
So USA Today
would never.
USA Today has officially denied it. So has Snopes. So that means it's probably true.
Yeah, I was going to say more likely now that it is true.
And of course, let's not overlook the fact that now we're into the Italians again. So was this mob related?
He could be Sicilian. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Mangione a Sicilian name or not?
Well, you know what they say: never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Yeah. But I mean, what is true though is that Brian Thompson was facing a DOJ probe for insider trading. So,
wow, that's
was he
interesting.
was he going to spill the beans against members of Congress? Was he going to spill the beans against some billionaire maybe? But it's obvious he was a threat somehow to someone in power. This is clearly an assassination. I mean, this is the modern day polonium sushi.
I tend to lean that way first.
Yeah.
And this is really interesting information as far as that line of reasoning.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe what that probe may have been was, my understanding was around United Healthcare. I believe United got hit with a ransomware, and the corporate and the
quantum
C-suite guys, the C-suite guys dumped shares before announcing it publicly.
Oh,
So I think that's
they
partially
smelled trouble there. Yeah.
Well, when you get hit with ransomware, it's going to be a big deal. Like I worked for a company that got hit with company I worked at before got hit with ransomware. I was living in Georgia at the time. We got hit with ransomware. Someone did that. They took, of course, they had people's personal information in spreadsheets on someone's computer, and they got away with that. But it took a week and a half for the company to recover. Like, we were extremely limited in what we could do. I mean, we found ways to figure stuff out, but it was kind of like the first couple of days, there was nothing you could do on the computer. Everything was locked down. They were wiping they were resetting the entire network. And then slowly, as they dug through stuff, but it's an expensive proposition whenever you're talking about having to go back and recover that data. Good IT departments are at least there, and they're, backing stuff up regularly. So you're rolling back and not ever missing too much. But
did your company end up paying a ransom, or just paying for these other services to get squared away?
I don't know. Like, I know companies have to have their different threat levels and recovery, and how much they want to spend on actually being able to recover from these things. So I don't know exactly
but it's expensive either way once it's initiated, essentially.
Right, because I mean, if all or most of your computer systems are down, I mean, you're talking about a health insurance company, so claims are coming in, they can't get submitted, payments can't go out. Like, it's
it's a mess.
It's a huge mess. So.
Yeah. Well, and so apparently the source of the DOJ probe, I just did some searching while we're talking here.
Yeah.
CalPERS was suing him.
Why do
the
I know
California
that
Public Employees Retirement System.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So CalPERS had the lawsuit. Well, it started out with the City of Hollywood Firefighters Pension Fund. They were saying that Brian Thompson sold shares of United Health on non-public information, so damaging the financial position of their pension. So he was being investigated for that. And then CalPERS jumped on the case in July and then amended their complaint in October. And Hollywood, by the way, is not LA. We're talking about Hollywood, Florida, just north of Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of pension funds tied up in the stock for United Health. And if these guys are insider trading, or what they've been sued for previously, which is backdating their options.
Yeah.
Hold on, we'll see here. Yeah, backdating their stock options, stuff like that, which basically just gives a kickback directly to the executives. So, I mean, all of that stuff. I mean, this stuff goes back to 2008, really.
And we've seen before, like with whether we're talking about like Congress or whatever, and they're just beating the market, by a ridiculous amount, or like holding a closed door meeting, about how to handle COVID, and then like selling off all their stocks before they make the announcement of everything, like for like hospitality and restaurants and things like that. And just an insane amount of things that have happened already, where the Pelosi connection is interesting enough that I'll follow this further probably. But
yeah. So I mean, I'm not the CalPERS lawsuit. I mean, that obviously California, that points a finger at Pelosi as well. I'm sure
Noah guy.
Yeah, I'm sure she's got a little bit of a hand in that. But so there's a lot of people that have a vested interest in this dude not spilling the beans on how he's making money. Because if he comes clean and says, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. You know,
Yeah.
we suck, we're scumbags.
If he rolls over on someone above
Stock
him,
price
though,
plummets, and you get tens of thousands of people have their pension funds cut in half. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
So what we do know is, I mean, from the very start, it was clearly an assassination. Like that was never in question. Like it was very clear he was lying in wait.
I would say
he fired his shots and he took off, and he had a clear plan of escape. So we knew.
I wouldn't say without question, but I would say that's very, very strongly my lean.
The second I saw the video, it was clear it was assassination to me. But
anecdotally, I agree. That was like my lean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it now comes down to who and why. I mean, it seems like the story that's being spun here is you've got some entitled leftist who decided to take a shot at the medical insurance industry in America by taking out a CEO of a big health insurance company. And I think that's where we're at, is that we don't actually know if it was that story doesn't seem to be very, very convincing to us.
I think the CEOs of Aetna and Anthem, those would be my first suspects.
Yeah.
Hey, you trying to tank their stock price and buy them out?
Did y'all see what?
Look to who would lose money. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
Did y'all see what Burger King tweeted after he got?
No.
Found?
Yes.
They said we don't snitch.
That's pretty funny, man. Oh man.
That's pretty good.
I like
having the guy having the manifesto against the health insurance companies in his backpack is the most wild thing to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Because like I could definitely see, like, just if you're not very good at doing crime, you might overlook some things, like not disposing of your weapon or taking your face covering off in the McDonald's,
or wearing exactly the same outfit while having the weapon and the manifesto.
Look, I know all of you guys are saying, well, if this guy was so smart, then why did he do all these stupid things? And I've just got to tell you, as the resident smart person on this podcast, that does not prevent me from doing stupid things all the time. But I think even I could manage not to have a literal manifesto in my backpack directly linking me to the crime.
God, that's like OJ writing the book on, like, here's how I would have killed her if I did it. And it was exactly what he was on trial for.
Yeah.
Dude, so funny. I mean,
I didn't do it, but if I did,
tragic,
yeah.
But,
It would have been exactly what happened. Yeah, it's absurd.
Everyone knows you killed her, you lunatic.
Right.
Gosh.
What did he get arrested for the second time, like later?
The second time was because in all of that, a bunch of merch of his got swiped. And so he committed armed robbery to get all that stuff back.
Right. Right.
Like the two cases it was related. It was stuff that was merchandise that had been acquired or stolen from him in the course of the.
It was all his books on how to kill your wife. Yeah, they were stolen.
Investigation. Then he turned around and then committed armed robbery to go get the stuff back. So like, it wasn't.
That doesn't look good.
Separate events, really.
Yeah.
They were
so if you don't learn anything from like OJ, Aaron Hernandez, Junior Seau, or Chris Benoit, retired wrestlers and NFL players, you don't want to screw around with those guys.
Yeah.
Seriously. We'll do a quick one real quick. Nick put this in the chat, and I thought it was an interesting one just to touch on real quick. Romania's top court annuls presidential election result.
That's annals.
My bad. Annals. Top court annals presidential election results.
Sorry.
Gosh, that makes it so much worse. Nick, you had a theory as to why this happened. Can you explain it?
Yeah, and it's been a while since I looked at this, and I haven't followed up. But basically, Romania's elections are going through different rounds of runoffs. I guess there's multiple candidates, and they must have a majority win sort of thing. I don't know the ins and outs, but basically, I think this is the first round of the election, or second. But basically, the guy that they didn't want to win.
The first round of the election.
So they vote and then top whatever from there. Continue on. You keep
So
keep cutting
it's
down
like
candidates.
a World Series instead of a Super Bowl.
Except you're eliminating one person each time.
It's ranked choice. It's basically ranked choice voting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know much about this.
So basically, what this seems like is a Supreme, their Supreme Court, Constitutional Court, whatever which from my understanding is basically the leftist, the establishment types. I did not like the fact that an outsider, more right wing populist type guy won and got through the round when they didn't want that. So they, from what it looks like, they just said, well, this is just unacceptable that he won, and said, we're going to redo it again. That's what it looks like on my base level of reading that, and coming from the article I shared there. Yeah, that's more or less what they kind of hinted at themselves, which is telling when it's kind of that open.
Yeah,
that's basically what I gathered too. And it seems like the guy who they didn't want in there didn't want to support the war in Ukraine.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, this is another example of abusing of like negating democracy to save democracy. We have to go
cut your
full
nose to spite your
authoritarian.
face.
We got to go full authoritarian in order to save democracy.
Embrace totalitarianism, but in the name of democracy. Yeah, perfect.
If you really trace the origins of kind of the ideology of mass democracy, this is what they've always thought. It's just that they haven't really made it as plain as they are doing now. Like in Woodrow Wilson's writings, his idea of modern democracy is one in which the leader can, perceive what the people want before the people even know what they want.
The minority
and
report
then the
of
leader
leadership.
Can then, use his position to convince everybody that this is actually what they wanted the entire time.
And our prostitutes will know what we want before we tell them, and it'll be a utopia.
Exactly.
I mean, that this is pretty much what they think. Where, that they like democracy, but only because in their version of democracy, in their version of democracy, they get to tell people what they want.
So it is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as long as it works for certain people, then we need to protect it at all costs. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, bingo.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I just thought it was interesting to touch on another casualty in the Ukraine war, or war in Ukraine, or whatever we want to call it. So,
also go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to bring up a crazy clip that has nothing to do with anything except is kind of tangentially related to war. Because it's insane. This is a remote control vehicle.
Oh. Damn.
I'm taking my time on my ride. We're going to mute it because we're going to get a strike for that. But it's got freaking missiles on it, and it can go through anything.
That thing's awesome.
Just imagine if you hooked up Chat GPT to that thing.
God.
Yeah, then it can lie.
Do I got to go to Ukraine to get one of these, or what?
That's a great question.
I'm afraid of that thing. That thing's terrifying.
Dude, I definitely need one of these things on my property.
Dude, yeah. Park that outside.
Look at that.
That's gnarly.
Driveway.
Yeah, I would hook up a Roomba computer to it so it would just patrol around the property all the time.
It's on treads, but it turns pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it must have a really good system for like
exactly.
Yeah, like it will go reverse on one side and forward on another or something. That's pretty crazy.
I mean,
that thing is a monster.
It's a freaking beast. Yeah. So
wow.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the war in Ukraine. So they can roll out crap like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect. And the TIE fighters flying over New Jersey. But
yeah, we're not going to go into that. No,
I don't know enough about it to go into it. Honestly.
I don't know anything.
From everything I've read, no one actually knows anything, and people are just saying stupid stuff.
Did you say TIE fighters like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that video floating around
That's kind of what
today?
they look like.
No.
There was a whole bunch
video
of
what looks like a TIE
drones.
fighter. It's in complete shadow, but it's flying just circles. And I'm seeing reports that the guy who posted it is known for fake videos, so it could be very well
okay.
fake thing. But there's a whole bunch of like drone scares because you've got congressmen claiming that Iran has a drone ship off of our coast launching these drones over New Jersey. It's like
Obama gave it to him.
Jersey of all places.
Yeah.
Why New Jersey? And how on earth did we not see a Iranian Chinese ship off our coast?
A ship that we also know is sitting over in the Persian Gulf. Yeah. So
stupid.
I mean, they can have New Jersey. I don't care. But.
So it's a quantum ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Dave, if they take New Jersey, Dave Smith goes with them. So. You know.
I mean, we can bring him into Pennsylvania and save him from.
Can you? I'm not sure. I'm not sure Heiss has the proper tools to make that happen.
I mean, I don't know why you live in New Jersey over Pennsylvania, except the fact that he tries to go to New York all the time. But you could live in the very upper portion of Pennsylvania. Plus, they're talking about reestablishing train service from Scranton to New York. So.
Fun. Gotta get that Dunder Mifflin paper quicker.
Yeah, isn't New Jersey just New York's trash can?
Yes. The northern New York is, and then southern New Jersey is where all the trash from Philadelphia vacation.
I thought it was the Garden State.
No, it's not that kind of garden. All right.
Yeah, we went a couple years ago. My one buddy had a bachelor party in Atlantic City. And one of the guys hadn't been to New Jersey, but he'd been up to Philly before. We're in the car, and he really doesn't like Philadelphia or Philadelphia people, which I understand. And it was explained to him that Atlantic City is where people from Philadelphia vacation, and he's like, "Oh, this place."
Yeah. I mean, I get it for sure. I've been there. It's. When you go pull up to a gas pump and you try to go pump your gas and some guy comes and shoves you out of the way and pumps your gas for you, that drives me freaking crazy.
Oh, like Oregon, like where it's a law where they
you're not allowed to pump your own gas.
I got yelled at when I was driving to my parents' house and I started to pump my gas, and it was like he looked like I was like lighting a fire at the pump, you know. It's
dude.
I
just wanted to pull the gas thing out and start spraying.
Spray him.
Or just start smoking a cigarette right next to it.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah. You come here often?
Dude, I really hate that law. It's really annoying. I didn't realize New Jersey was part of that.
I do miss the old school grease monkeys though, that would, wash your windshield, check your tire pressure, check your
But that's like an optional thing, right? Like that's
like
if you wanted to.
You went to the actual service station.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, yeah.
They still have some of those around, Stephen. There's some of those still in service.
We still have some places that are by choice have someone pumping your gas for you. There's a couple of them around.
If you choose it, that's fine. But when you mandate that it's how it has to happen, then that's just really annoying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's that time, y'all. All right. There we go. Sorry. Momentarily extremely loud. Let me get us into the right.
What was loud?
Rat Pack Unity.
I never hear it anymore. I'm so sad.
Whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know why you do that, man.
I don't know. It makes me sad.
All right. Yeah, anyone out there? You're welcome to play trivia. Audience can win, although you'll hear a lot of comments in the comment section that it's rigged. It is not rigged. You're just on a delay, but you also have the advantage of the entire internet to do your research.
The WWWs.
Yeah. At some point in time, we will be changing up trivia so that everybody is playing with the same restrictions. So that will be coming sometime in 2025. So just know that a more fair and non-laggy type of trivia is coming your way.
A non-Starlink based trivia.
You could switch it up where we all get whiteboards and we have to write the answer down and then show it. And...
Oh, I like that. That's kind of fun.
We could.
I, for one, prefer the trivia oligarchy where the people on the show do have a big advantage.
Fair enough.
I like the whiteboard idea.
It's democracy that way.
Yeah, whiteboard idea is not terrible. All right, Zane, take it away, buddy.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Libations Trivia. As usual, we have 3 rounds. Round 1, 8 questions, 1 point each. Round 2, 6 questions, 2 points each. Round 3, 4 questions, 3 points each. Tonight's categories, round 1, of course, will be Christmas trivia. Round 2, year in review. And round 3, in honor of the Stephen the Etymologist Hilton stickers available now on peacefulsea.network, etymology.
There we
What is
go.
year in review? Is that just like looking back at this at 2024?
Stuff that happened this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because Zane's not going to be here the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
I thought we were doing vacation trivia again. Or
That's when he comes. That's when he comes.
When he gets back,
yeah.
he's got to go on the trip. Yeah. He's got to go to Zimbabwe or whatever.
All right. Round 1, Christmas trivia. Question 1. A cowboy that rides an ostrich, a train with square wheels, and Alden.
The Misfit Toys.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I was trying to figure out whether if he was asking that or if he was asking what the special was. That it was the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Apparently, it was
why I didn't answer.
The island
I knew
that
exactly.
they reside, but
yeah.
Well, if you had let me finish, I would have also brought up the jelly squirting squirt gun.
Yeah.
And then I would have asked. Said they're all residents of what location?
A polka dot elephant.
Gotcha.
Caboose with square wheels.
All right.
A Charlie in the box, I think.
Yeah, it was a Charlie in the box.
Nobody wants a Charlie
in the box. Yeah.
Question 2. Trans-Siberian Orchestra's classic and awesome medley of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and Carol of the Bells is named after what Balkan city?
What?
I know this. Why can't I remember it?
I don't know.
Balkans.
I'm so mad I don't know this, man.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I feel like I see like an ad on TV for this like every year, and I should know.
Nick.
I'm gonna shoot in the dark and say Sarajevo.
You would be correct.
Yeah. Good job, Nick.
Question 3. That song, by the way, is apparently inspired by an incident in the Bosnian War. So remember that the next time you hear it.
Should ask Scott Horton about that when we get him on the show.
Yeah,
Question 3.
Yeah. Go ahead, Zane.
Both NFL games scheduled for Christmas Day will air on what service? Nick.
Netflix.
They will both be on Netflix.
Really?
The Steelers are playing.
That is
I
a
do
garbage,
know that, yeah.
garbage broadcast. Then that Netflix.
What was the last one like?
They ruined. I mean, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson ruined the
fight. So
fight.
you watch a buffering wheel.
That's what it was. The fight. Yeah.
The NFL was freaking out after that. Like as soon as
they should.
Yeah, they were like, "You guys have to have this fixed before this happens."
So this is the first NFL game on Netflix that's coming up on Christmas.
Yeah,
and they were shitting
Also,
their pants when they saw how bad the fight was.
But since it's in market for me, I should be able to watch it on regular TV.
Oh,
how did they handle? Like during COVID, no one was going to the theater. Trolls World Tour, right? It was one of those like pay $30 and you can watch it on Netflix.
Yeah,
because that was technically like the theatrical release. Whatever you did for that, do that for the football games.
Netflix needs to chill. I agree. This is getting crazy, especially if you can't do it well.
Yeah, they can't do it well. They're terrible.
They're doing WWE starting next year.
Well, they can have that.
I mean,
that's fine.
Prime does Thursday Night Football, but that's
Prime's is awesome.
Apparently, they do a good job. Yeah,
I don't know. The audio skips out every Thursday Night Football. The audio sucks.
Oh, really? I'm always watching it on mute while we're in our show.
Oh, fuck! I forgot to. No, it's too late now. I'll just look at it later. I forgot about that. I'm like in the
all right, Zane, keep rolling,
playoffs. Like,
just imagine if you went back 15 years ago and told people that the company that sends you DVDs in the mail and the company that sells you books online would both be in the business of streaming NFL games.
Yeah.
What's the game tonight? Was it San Francisco?
San Francisco and the Rams, I believe.
Ah, shit.
Well.
What do you?
All right.
What do you do?
Question 4. In a rare example of the ACLU not being completely useless, in 2013 they released what parody song skewering government surveillance?
Did you say ACLU?
Yeah.
The American Civil Liberties Union.
Oh,
I do not know.
Nick.
They see you when you're sleeping.
That is a lyric in the song that I'm talking about.
That's really funny, though. Okay.
They know when you're awake. I don't know.
It is a parody of the song that you are currently singing.
Isn't that close enough then?
No.
No. Sorry. Alden.
Coming to town spelled the naughty way.
That's approximately half of the answer. If nobody else
then
I'll give you
okay.
half a point.
Can I? All right, fine. Because now we know the rest of the damn thing. Like,
let Alden guess again. No one else is getting it.
All right, guess again.
Oh, I don't know.
Steven.
Go ahead.
Government clause is coming to town.
Government clause.
No.
Love it.
Nick.
NSA is coming to town.
The NSA is coming to town.
Oh my god,
that is terrifying.
Wow.
I don't even think I've seen this. It just made sense that that's what it would be.
I haven't seen this.
Whenever I started spitting
I have not
lyrics.
seen it.
You spelled coming wrong, though.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the town Cumming, Georgia is spelled, just like the naughty way.
Right.
Yeah.
At the Walmart in Cumming, you can get coffee mugs that say "I heart Cumming."
What was funny when I was down there, one of the guys I worked with in Pittsburgh in one of our chats was making a joke. He like posted that, and I'm like, dude, I've been to that Walmart in Cumming.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting for Alden for Christmas.
Gladly accept this gift.
I do encourage everyone after this show is over to go watch The NSA is Coming to Town because it is very funny.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to go to Cumming Walmart.
It is probably the first libertarian opinion of mine that I had, because this came out when I was in 9th grade, and in middle school I was your typical neocon. But this song, I think, made me be critical of government surveillance, so I have the ACLU to thank for that.
Nice.
Wow.
I have 9/11 to thank for it.
All right, question 5. The 12 days of Christmas traditionally refers to the period between Christmas and Epiphany on January 6th. Haha. Epiphany most importantly celebrates what event that symbolizes the revelation of Jesus to the Gentiles?
What?
Wait, what?
I
that last part again?
Yeah, you glitched, but I don't know if that was the reason why I don't understand the question. I think it's because I'm a heretic.
So I don't expect him to know the answer to this.
I'm a what? What'd you say?
Epiphany most importantly celebrates what event that symbolizes the revelation of Jesus to the Gentiles? Alden.
Crucifixion.
No.
I wasn't sure if he was frustrated that I got it or frustrated at how absurd my answer was.
That's the worst answer in the history of answers, maybe ever.
Yes! Mission accomplished. Yes.
I have no idea.
Is the audience contributing anything here?
They don't seem to be.
No?
Brian says the Star of Bethlehem.
No. This would be the arrival of the wise men.
But wait, there's myrrh.
Ah.
I actually understand this reference.
Question 6. And this is a number question, so everyone gets one quick guess.
Cool.
What is the total number of gifts given by the true love in the 12 days of Christmas? It is the sum of the first 12 triangular numbers, and is thus the 12th tetrahedral number. It may help you to know that the formula for the nth tetrahedral number is n times n plus 1 times n plus 2 divided by 6.
Zane's broken. We need to restart Zane.
Steven.
78.
Okay, Steven says 78.
I'm
Nick?
thoroughly confused.
243.
Okay, 243.
That's a lot of gifts.
One audience says 156. Jake or Alden?
I'm thinking.
Alden.
72 virgins.
Okay, 72.
Virgins.
Jake.
I'm thinking.
Are you furiously calculating over there?
Yeah.
I am not.
You'd get it if you had that Common Core math.
Right, yeah, because they have to draw a tetrahedron to do basic math.
I'm just going to say 100 just to get somewhere in the middle.
Is a tetrahedron like a 20-sided D&D die? Because that would...
No, it's a tetrahedron is the 4-sided die.
4?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the triangular pyramid.
Mm.
Anyway, Nick gets this one because it's 364.
Wow, one for each day of the year almost.
Lame.
Question 7. What is the name of Ebenezer Scrooge's spectral business partner in A Christmas Carol, who warns him of the coming of 3 ghosts?
I'm not getting this. I got to turn my heater back.
Steven.
Jeeves.
No.
That got me.
Nick.
Crumpet.
Nick. Oi. Do you have a license for that crumpet?
Is it Marley?
It is indeed Jacob Marley.
Yeah,
good job.
I couldn't get Crotchet out of my head, but that's the guy he works with currently or whatever, I think. But.
Yeah, that's the guy that's his employee that everyone thinks is being abused.
The Tiny Tim dad guy or whatever.
Yeah, when Scrooge is just providing the man with an honest living, and apparently he's the bad guy for it.
It's a Christmas tradition in my family to watch the Muppet version of A Christmas Carol every year.
Nice.
I cannot be a part of your family ever. I'm never coming to a holidays. I hate the Muppets.
Oh, you're not invited.
Original that...
Question 8. What is the Latin name for the southern counterpart of the Northern Lights?
Southern counterpart of Northern Lights. What the fuck?
You know the
Southern
Northern
Lights, man. The Southern Lights.
The Latin name?
Yeah, Steven.
David Boreanaz.
No, Alden.
The oh god damn it.
Oh, audience has it.
Motherfucker, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh no! Oh, I'm so mad.
That's what I was gonna say while Alden was delaying.
Yes. Oh my god. That was one of those true frustrating ones where I'm like, I said it probably like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or some stupid thing. That's annoying. Moving on.
Annoying.
I am annoying probably right now.
All right. At the end of round 1, we've got the audience with 1, Alden with 2, and Nick with 4.
I have 2?
Nick is in the... Yeah, you got...
Shouldn't I have 2.5?
The Island of Misfit Toys. Oh, no, I didn't give you the half a point.
Because I got the full thing.
Nick
you didn't
is
say my
in the-
score, Zane. You didn't say my score.
I try to be polite and not announce when people have 0 points. I can if you want me to, though.
Yes, we want this.
All right,
Jake
move
with
on.
0.
In the lead as usual. Nick, last week I tried specifically writing questions that I didn't think that you would really know, and then you weren't even on the show, so you weren't here to not win.
I was
And
busy, and Jake said, "Hey, take the week off," so I took the week off.
Yep.
So,
All right, round 2, year in review.
Gaza.
Question 1. What?
Nothing.
Never.
On January 12th, who became Nick Saban's replacement as the head football coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Dadgummit, I forget his freaking name. I hate the Alabama.
Alden.
Kim Kardashian.
No.
Trump.
Trump. Yes.
Trump.
That's another good guess.
Steven?
Jim Mora.
No. It was Trump right after he finished working at McDonald's.
And snitching.
Can you imagine if that was Trump was working at that McDonald's and happened to be the snitch on Luigi Mangione?
That's the universe I want to live in. That's yeah.
That
That's
would be
hilarious.
so stinking funny. Man, I don't know. I'd be the one to know this, and I don't know.
You would be the one to know this.
This
I know.
is Kalen DeBoer.
It was on the tip of my
DeBoer.
dick. Jackie Chan is closer in my mind to
Once-
anything I
Once
would
you go away from Nick Saban being the coach, it doesn't really matter who
True.
the replacement is.
Everybody, I think we should all take a drink because currently we have 69 viewers watching.
Woo!
Ooh, nice.
Cheers, audience.
Question 2.
What?
Pictured here are the remains of what bridge after an accident on...
Oh.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Yeah,
F
damn it.
me.
That was this year? Damn.
That was this
Yeah.
year. Dadgummit, I was there. I had it.
You were there?
But no.
You were on the bridge?
I was there. I was
What
there.
did
I should have just said, Jake,
I was there.
I was standing on the bridge when it was hit.
Yeah.
Question
He
3.
was distracting the driver.
This map, Steven.
Full solar eclipse.
Damn it.
I saw it. I went and
As soon as
that
I saw
thing.
the
It
map,
pretty sweet.
I was still
Yeah.
talking about Jake on a bridge. Damn it.
I went up to Erie to see it. Drive home sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go see it. I don't care.
I watched it from
Yeah.
here and not much happened.
When I could see the full thing, because totality was pretty sweet, for a 2-hour drive, I had to do it.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
we
nuts.
had a full one when I was in 4th grade, and I looked at it when they told me not to. And the next year I
explains
had
a lot.
glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, totality was like I remember the previous one, and just being a little bit outside the path, you didn't see much.
Yeah.
I
it
thought, oh,
doesn't
you'll
take
see a little bit,
too
but you
far.
didn't see much at all. But when
Yeah.
you are actually in totality, it's a complete. It's so weird. Like
The one
it
from
gets
like
dark and-
2016 or 17, it was going over like Clayton, Georgia, and I was
2018.
already 18. Is that what it was? I had already had plans to visit my grandma who lives there, and I made plans with her months before, and she didn't know anything about the eclipse. Whatever, I didn't know anything about the eclipse. It just kind of coincided. Just it happened to be, and then I get there, and she's like, "Hey, just so you
Zane's
know, you have to
computer
leave."
shut off.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. She's like, she kicked me out because she's like, oh, a bunch of her side of the family was like coming to stay with her to see the eclipse. And I was like, bitch, I fucking told you 6 months ago that I was going to be here. She sucks. Whatever.
I love
She's
that
my
you just said that on a
step-grandma.
live stream.
Oh, I
That's
don't
great.
care. She's terrible. If she knows how to use the internet, then she can find this. That's fine. She's not nice to me.
I just tweeted at her, so well,
Yeah.
let's see what she says.
I sent her a Christmas card this year. We'll see if she calls me. I have no idea. I haven't heard from her in years.
Wow. Yeah, y'all. For audience, Zane's computer randomly shut off, so he's logging back in just a moment. So
His Eclipse got totaled.
bear with us. Oh man.
Does anyone else have any family grievances to air online? Live?
Not right now.
It's probably not
fortunately,
wise,
my
but-
family does not watch a Muppets Christmas Carol every.
Good.
Thank God.
Christmas.
Good.
We watch Muppets, but part of my family also watches Mr. Hanky's Christmas. So I feel like
You've
we
also
kinda
got
we
you've also
balance it
got
out.
young. You've also got kids, so
Yeah.
that's kind of
Mr.
a,
Hanky's Christmas is hilarious.
Yeah, which by the way, Aldi is currently selling something like one of those wood things you can stack by your front door, a little cutesy little wood art thing, and it looks like a snowman. But it's like so vertically stretched that you can take it home and repaint it and make it a Mr. Hanky.
Oh,
And
nice.
It's the perfect shape.
See, I was always a fan of the Christmas critters in South Park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was too.
I love the in the movie when he's like, I got it, and they're like, you got the passcode? He's like, no, I just found the beat to Funky Town. Like, boop 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 boop. Ridiculous. Dating myself probably.
You don't
I have
date
not
yourself,
watched-
Alden.
I need to catch up on where South Park's been. It's been a couple of years since I've.
Oh,
really
I have
paid
no
attention.
idea at this
It's-
point. Yeah.
Hey, I just had a realization today that I think I'm older than 911 in a lot of areas of the country. I was talking to my dad, and
Wait, really?
he was talking about something about what he was doing back in his early law enforcement days. And I was like, well, hopefully you just called 911. And he was like, that wasn't a thing. And I'm like,
really?
What?
What'd they call?
So
Ghostbusters.
he said he just dialed 0 and got the operator and was like,
Zero? Oh, you tell the operator. Oh, all right. Yeah.
give me the sheriff.
Yeah. Make them do it. That makes sense.
That sounds like it might be quicker.
It might be easier, honestly. Well, it was probably easier then, but now you'd be a bunch of stoned people calling 0, being like, "Hey, help me get a pizza to my house." So the line would be busy, Yeah.
Or they'd probably just take it down to automated chat bots that you would say who you want to reach.
Right.
And
then,
then you got to scream agent at it until it actually takes you to until you talk to someone.
And then it'd be like, there are too many people on hold. That's the new thing now, where they're like, instead of putting you on hold, they're like, there are too many people on the line, and it just hangs up on you, and you got to keep fucking calling.
Well, some of them are smart though. I was like, would you like to be in the callback queue?
That's
right.
Yes, I love
I've
that.
never heard that.
Yes, I love when that happens because you're like,
callback.
Yes, I can go about my day, and then
That
when
would
I get
be
a phone
better
call,
than both worlds. That's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll call you
but I've
back
never
in
gotten
30
that.
minutes to an hour. I'm like,
Alden,
Yeah.
I've never gotten that treatment that you got. I've only
Have you had
gotten-
to call the DMV?
Oh no. Why would I call the DMV?
So when we moved, Haley got her. So you apply for both at the same time, the voter registration and your license, essentially, while you're there. Haley got her voter registration immediately, no problem. Her license never came. We had to go start that whole process over. I got my license, and my voter registration never came. It came like 5 or 6 days after the election. And then I find out, apparently, you don't even need it to vote. It just tells you where your goddamn district is. I thought you needed the goddamn thing to vote. I've been bringing it to my voting district every year or every 4 years or 2 years or whatever. Anyway, so
in
DMV
Georgia we
sucks.
have the gold star on the license. If you got the gold star, that means that we got a hair sample, a blood sample.
I didn't know that.
Your
This is
grandmother
my-
is all that shit. Like
In my first year with a Georgia license,
Yeah,
I didn't even
PA.
know that was a thing.
PA, when I got my license again in PA here, they printed one that wasn't Real ID compliant and gave it to
Mhm.
me, and then it was optional whether I wanted the Real ID or not.
I don't.
And being that I already had it in Texas and Georgia and wherever else,
It's a
was
novelty.
like- and they already had that information from the first time I lived from originally living here. I'm like, just give me the fucking Real ID.
When I was in Tennessee, I paid an extra $6 for my fishing license to come in a plastic card so I could put that in my wallet instead of the fucking receipt that they give you, because if it gets wet, it gets disintegrates like it's toilet paper. And it never fucking came. I'm telling you, man, any other fucking, it's government jobs. Don't even get me started. Like,
I have my nice plastic lifetime Georgia hunting and fishing.
That's awesome though,
There
man.
you go.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
you got to come down here. We should do some hunting.
Jake, did
That's
you buy
super
one
cool.
before? Did you buy one before moving out of Georgia?
No.
You should have.
Well, too late. I can have Nikki buy one.
There you go.
I mean,
You look just like Nikki. I think you can.
It was like
away with
$750 to do, and it explicitly says if you can only buy it while a resident.
Yeah.
But if you move out, it's still good. So I'm like, well, I'm moving out, so I'm just gonna have lifetime privileges to come back here.
Yeah, you understand? I live in Montana, right? I don't need to come back to Georgia to hunt. I can go out on my front porch and shoot a dadgum deer whenever I want.
You can eat mountain lion every day up there.
Dude, I saw there's a mountain. It could have been a wolf kill right at the bottom of my driveway.
Yeah.
Intact, full deer skeleton laying in the grass.
Yeah.
It's wild. Ribs are like. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm planning on making the hunting trip out that way next year, Jake.
Nice.
To hunt what?
Deer. I've got my mom's
muley?
cousin lives in Washington.
Mule deer?
So, what?
Mule deer? Or?
I think it's going to end up being whitetail, but I don't know the exact laws of Washington. My uncle went out there last year with his cousin and hunted in Idaho. This year we're doing. He lives in Washington. Apparently it's somewhere north of Spokane.
Okay.
So,
I don't think Zane's ever coming back, yo.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was trying to give him some time. I got one more story to stall until we get there. While we're talking about
Zane says it has decided that now is a great time for a firmware update. So I guess we're still in holding here.
Okay, so before Alden does it, we're gonna do something else.
Okay.
Which is,
I am not fucking drunk.
19th blue.
Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball.
This is everything about it's a clam. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a little bit too drunk to stand up.
On Zane, asshole.
I'm drunk right now.
every time. All right, this is a very short one. Steven, this is one I actually meant to do next week. I had it downloaded, but I forgot to actually go look at my downloads.
Oh, cool.
So here you go. Here's, I believe this is the one you were referring to, Steven. If it's not, I apologize. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How did the pitch go? You know,
we want to be free to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time.
Man, he really knows how to heave the ball, doesn't he?
How do you puke right in the middle of your throw like that? That's wild.
That is one of the best distraction methods I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Is
You're gonna
it
lose the
legal?
ball in that. There's no if it went over the plate, it had to have been a strike. There's no way the batter saw that coming.
What happens if you shit your pants while you're pitching violently?
I don't think anybody sees, but you're very embarrassed.
Yeah, you gotta slide
probably
into first to feel something burst.
Dude, I haven't heard that in Jesus Christ. It's been 3 decades since I fucking heard that. Oh my god, that's insane. I'm old.
Yeah, I thought that puking pitcher was wild. I've never seen anything like that.
In drone news, apparently they're now being seen over Monroe County, Pennsylvania, which is on the border of New Jersey. To be fair, but
I just had a
Is it
Rumpleman's
really
delivery
drones or is it
service.
Project Bluebeam?
I don't know.
It's probably just fireflies that people
Look,
are.
the eastern side of the state's always drama, and I just kind of they do their thing, and we try to ignore their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm gonna take a bathroom break while we wait for Zane.
All right, that sounds good.
He's gonna shit his pants. So we went on a break. We went like on a trip or whatever. We went to like Indy for Haley's family Christmas kind of thing early, and the Thanksmas that you were saying, Jake, that like the in between the holidays. And when we got back, one of our chickens was completely murdered. It was just torn apart, gone, dead, just blood and feathers everywhere. And so we are down a chicken. I'm not sure what it was. This chicken, our neighbors gave us this chicken, and all of their other chickens had been picked off by predators. And this was the last one, and they wanted it to be in a flock. And they were like, will you take it? And I was like, sure, I don't care, whatever. I didn't realize it took like 80 years for a chicken to like integrate into another flock. They're mean as hell. And so I've been working for like a month to try to get it integrated into my flock, and they never became friends. And they were just barely tolerating each other in the fucking yard, and they would not want to roost together. If she went in the coop, the others would be like, "Rah!" They would like kick her out of the coop. And it's been like 18 degrees up here. And so I would have to go, and she would roost in like a tree outside the coop, and I would have to throw her dumbass in the coop. Well, when we went on the trip, I wasn't there to throw her dumbass in the coop, and something ate her when she was in the tree.
I am hoping it was the other chickens that ate her.
They were
was
just
probably
like waiting for me to be
raccoon.
gone, like Toy Story, and they were like, attack! Oh my god, I didn't think of that. That's disturbing.
That's pretty
It's probably a raccoon.
Yeah, something like that.
Raccoons and hawks are the most likely candidates, because we've had a chicken get attacked by a hawk. I had to run in the yard and like scare the hawk away, kind of thing. If it's at night, it was probably raccoons. If it was in the day, it could have been the hawk, kind of thing. But yeah, we don't know. But she's dead.
Was its head eaten off?
All I found was blood and feathers, so I have no idea.
Okay, blood and feathers. That's probably not a hawk.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be some kind of ground-based critter at that point. Could be a coyote.
Well, the coyote wouldn't. I don't know how they would have gotten the carcass out of here, and it would have been hard for a coyote to get in the yard. I think
hawks
they could
will carry it off, and owls. I found out the hard way recently.
I think owl was. I've seen an owl out here, a big ass one. So
owls will cleanly decapitate chickens.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
really?
That's what happened to one of ours.
How do they decapitate it?
I mean, just no head, just hollowed out. I was like,
with
what
with the beak or with the claws? What do they do?
I don't know. I don't get it. But
God, that's gruesome.
Yeah,
Right.
I looked it up and I asked around, and our homeschool co-op has one of the people has this little 14-year-old daughter, and she's like the chicken whisperer, dude. She was asking us like forensic details, like what did the chicken look like? What kind of flies were there? Oh, it's an owl. 100%, it's an owl. Like,
wow,
you've been right about everything so far, so I'm just trusting that.
All right. Was this the right format? Alden, were you in that section? Who is where?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I legitimately don't remember.
Fair. All right, done. Zane, take it away again. Although you have to load in the trivia again.
Hello again, everyone. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. My computer decided that it just absolutely had to do a firmware update right now.
Do you have a Windows-based software?
Yeah.
Because Haley has Windows, and it always chooses the worst times to do an update. It doesn't even give you an option to be like delay it or whatever.
I'm surprised Zane's not running Linux.
I am surprised, actually.
He's probably dual booted.
Or quantum booted. He's running both at the same time.
Okay, so where were we with questions? I forget.
I don't know. Let's.
Was it Aurora Australis?
Yep. We were in round 2. I know that.
Yeah, we were definitely in round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was it. That was it.
That's it right there.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, back on track.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Thank you.
Like
Thank
Backstreet.
you for managing to come up with banter to say while you were waiting. But from
did
the
Drunkard of the
quality of the
Week without you.
conversation when I returned, I don't think I missed much.
We did Drunkard of the Week while you were
Oh,
gone.
you did?
Yeah, and we talked about my recently murdered
enough.
chicken.
All right. Question 4. This chart played a crucial role in what incident on July 13? Steven.
Tearing down the wall?
No.
I don't know.
Nick?
The Trump assassination attempt.
It is indeed.
Is it really?
I didn't know what chart it was, but I'm thinking the 13th. That's about the time.
Wow.
So this is the chart. You know how everybody was saying that Trump's life was saved because at the last second he turned his head to look at a chart?
Uh-huh.
It was this.
Oh.
I never looked at this chart to see it. I never.
Oh, I
knew what
never
chart it
would have
actually
put that
was.
together. Good guess, Nick. Damn, I didn't realize that at all.
Question 5. On August 30th, a judge in what country banned access to X and threatened massive fines for users who circumvented Nick?
Brazil.
God gummit.
Oh, X like Twitter?
Yeah.
I thought he was like banned access to blank, and I was like, banned access to what? I thought that was the question. Motherfucker. All right, fine.
Question 6. Pictured here is the booster for what's Alden?
Penis.
Nick.
Starship.
Ah, so close.
I honestly think this photo should, if there's an award for like photo of the year, this photo is it. This is like the most awesome photo. It's either this or the photo of Trump with his fist in the air right after the assassination.
Yeah.
Have you seen my medium dick pic though? Because
if you can superimpose the two and put it on a flag,
with
Liberty Libations at the bottom right corner,
a double exposure situation. Yeah.
New merch.
What you need is Trump riding the rocket with his fist in the air, with the American flag flying behind him.
And my medium dick in his fist.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
but only half of it because it's medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm half
Nick
sorry.
really cleaned up on that round. So we've got Nick with 12,
Yeah.
Steven with 2, Alden with 2, audience with 1, and
I have
Jake with
2.5.
0.
God damn it! Don't you forget it.
But because round 3 has 12 points, it's still technically anybody's game.
Unless I get what, 1 or 2 questions right.
One.
I think all you need is the 1.
But this is
Question
Steven's
1.
round, so.
The name of what color can be traced back to the Sanskrit word for a certain fruit?
What fruit?
Steven.
Orange.
Oh.
This really is Steven's category.
Dadgummit. I was going to say that.
I was thinking that
Dadgummit.
too.
I have been like a split second behind on 5 freaking questions.
You've got to raise your hand before you know the answer.
That is the thing. That's why you end up with answers like penis once in a while.
Whatever. Next.
Question 2. Remind me never to have write a question where a penis is the answer.
Are you sure? Yeah. I could write 32 questions where the answer is penis.
Remind me to never let you be the host of trivia. Alright, question 2. What sport is named for the school at which it was first codified in 1845? Nick.
Cricket.
No. Steven.
Lacrosse.
No.
Ooh, that was a good guess.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Alden.
Badminton.
No. Nick.
Alden, we're on the same wavelength.
Really? Yeah.
No.
I was trying to come up with a weird name, like
Not Jai-alai.
Hi-alai.
I-alai.
No. Jake.
Tennis.
No. Nick.
Football.
I got it.
No.
I feel
Alden.
so confident about this guess. Bowling.
I said that already.
Nick already said that.
No, really? Seriously? Oh, god damn it. I felt so good about it. That's my most embarrassing moment on this in 2 years or whatever. God damn it. I felt so good about it.
I thought it was a good idea.
Steven.
Luge?
No.
The luge.
No.
Is that
Is
a
this
place?
an American school?
No.
Is it British?
It is British.
Oh.
It's magic.
Oh.
What?
Oh. It's Alden.
Quidditch.
No. Nick.
I was gonna say the same thing.
No, it's not polo. All right. Nobody's getting this. Oh,
Rowing.
okay, Jake. You get. No.
Go, Jake.
This is rugby.
Oh, what?
No.
Fuck me, rugby.
Dadgum.
Invented at the rugby school.
I didn't know that was a school.
Fucking British names and they're made up places.
Yeah.
Right.
Question 3. What Greek word referring to the family unit or the home is the root of an English word that is the opposite of xenophobia and which accurately describes many leftists? The word also names a brand of yogurt. Alden.
Wacos.
Steven. Wait. What'd you say?
Wacos. Wacos.
Okay, yeah, that actually is.
Oh my God, no.
Specifically, a lot of leftists have oikophobia, which is the fear of your own culture or home.
When you moved on, I was like, well, shit, I don't know what yogurt it's going to
Yep.
be. Dannon phobia or whatever? I don't know. Like
Yoplait?
Phobia.
Yoplait. Yeah.
That was my guess.
Yo play with these nuts. Like, new phobia unlocked.
Alright, question 4. Speaking of phobias, the word shown here is sometimes jokingly claimed to mean the fear of what things? Steven.
Palindromes.
Wow, nicely done.
Oh.
Nicely recognized. Did you wait a minute? I need to know. Did you know that or did you assess
Yes,
that?
because it is a palindrome.
No. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
did you know it before or did you assess it by looking at this word and recognizing that
No,
that?
I knew it because there was a like a few years ago there was a palindrome week where like the date for the whole week was a palindrome, and I did a series of Facebook posts every day with a new palindrome.
Nice.
And that was my Wednesday post, and yeah.
Nerd. I love it. I'm kidding. I love it. That's amazing. This really is your section.
Seriously.
All right. So at the end of the match, we've got Jake with 0, audience with 1, Alden with 5, Steven
5.5. God damn it!
with a good performance in the last round, coming in with 8, but Nick could not be caught with 12.
Damn. And
go.
Go.
I was queuing you up so perfectly.
Go. Now. Now.
Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, that's
At least I put on my celebratory light show behind me.
Oh, that's my
Yeah.
bad.
Speed it up a little bit.
Well, I'll win trivia maybe sometime next year. I don't know.
Probably not.
5.5 points. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, some quack would have gotten like 7 points. They'd have just been slightly quicker. I would have gotten like 11 points if I'd have been slightly quicker.
Story of your life.
Oh, it's happened to me a lot. Like I've been totally cut out before, and I'm like, I knew all of these.
Freaking Alden. Freaking Alden.
I'm sorry. I'm having
someone
too much
reach through
fun.
their screen and punch him, please.
Yeah. I'm having too much fun tonight. I'm sorry. It's the Rumplemans. I blame the Rumplemans.
All right. The next topic is more of a philosophical topic because Zane likes this. This is based off an actual event. Here we go.
Is this a family inheriting debt?
A
question?
man who died briefly and medically brought back to life argued in court that his life sentence had technically ended.
Wow. Good on him, dude. That's a great argument.
The prisoner, Benjamin Schreiber, made the argument to an appeals court in Iowa, saying that when he briefly died in 2015 before being revived at a hospital, he completed his obligation to the state.
You know what?
The judges rejected his argument. Schreiber is either still alive, in which case he must remain in prison, or he is actually dead, in which case his appeal is moot.
I don't know. What was his crime? Because that's pretty smart. I don't know.
I mean,
murderer, so...
But
genius.
If they let him out on this technicality,
yeah,
everybody in prison is going to be doing that college frat thing, where they bend over and take 10 deep breaths and then hold it and shove it on their chest and make them pass out,
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the new prison yard activity.
I thought you were going to say that they bend over and do something else.
Well, that happens all the time in prison, but you need to
you're going to have a bunch of people getting stabbed and taking that risk.
Right.
If I die on the way to the hospital and they bring me back,
right,
I'm out. So,
yeah.
That
I feel like the medical profession is way too loose with saying that, people declaring people medically dead. Because if you're dead, if you're dead, you're dead. Alive again, that means you were alive. You can't be dead and then not be dead.
Temporarily dead.
I got better.
Yeah, you'll be stone dead in a minute. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like they say, if the heart stops, and
I feel like I'll go on a walk.
So it's loose, but the argument. I mean, it's a logical argument, but you can't let that go and just let everyone just start taking the risk of, I'm going to die here anyway, so I might as well try to die enough that I get brought back.
Cheat the system, man. Yeah.
I mean, I like cheating the system. It's just an interesting, it's the Jon Snow argument, If anybody's watched Game of Thrones.
When he died, he fulfilled his oath to the Night's Watch, so he could walk away.
Yes. It's been a while since I've.
And that's the precise moment where George Martin quit writing the books and just proceeded to be 80 years old and stay at the pub and eat red meat and fried foods and smoke cigars and not finish his freaking books.
That sounds like
that's because he wrote himself into a corner.
Yeah,
I mean
he can't figure out how to get out of it because he realized probably what he was envisioning.
Corner.
Whatever he was envisioning, they butchered it in the TV finale. And now he knows that he can't make it go that direction.
Or what if he's trying to be a Tolkien and his son hates his guts? He's like, there's no Peter Jackson to do a movie deal with this kid because he hates me.
It's interesting.
I'll take the money from HBO and screw him and my books.
Yeah.
He's still got stuff coming out on occasion that's not the main series. I mean, Fire and Blood came out a couple years ago, and
show sucked.
You don't like House of the Dragon?
Tons of children's books. He's writing children's books now.
I like House.
I think HBO paid him to not finish his books.
You could be right, but Nick, I liked it at first. I did not care for a sudden jump in time that led to completely different actors. That drives me insane. Like, either kill them off.
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah. No. In
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Oh, I have not seen that. Okay.
Yeah.
Annoying part, and then once you got through that,
but I didn't like the new actress. I liked the younger actress. She was way better.
Yeah.
Oh, tricky.
Yeah. So that drove me.
Grin and bear it and get through it. Of what the Rhaenyra character?
Is this like
or the Allison?
The Game of Thrones version of like the Crown?
Because the Allison, the current Alicent is probably better than the younger one, but
Doesn't The Crown do that where it like jumps from like time into like Princess Diana times or whatever? I never finished the show, but I think it does that. But
them's are fighting words, Grumpy.
I've seen like 3 episodes, and it was enough for me to go, all right, I'm gonna let this whole thing come out, and then I can just watch it all afterward instead of waiting week after week like I did with Game of Thrones.
I don't wait week after week for shit, man. I can't do that anymore.
I did it for the initial series, and I was pissed off.
I started it.
Like, this isn't the book. This isn't the book.
And then I waited until the last season, and I caught up, and then I watched just the last season on it, and then I was disappointed because the last season was like the worst season of that show, but of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Well, it got bad as soon as the book material was no longer there.
The
last season was bad, but it started sliding right after that. I really like
that's when they got up to $100 million an episode, and like the last 2 episodes, you couldn't see the episode. It was too dark.
Really worth it.
You had to turn up the contrast on your TV to see what the hell was going on.
Really where things. To be honest, though, where things really started to slide is where you got out of Storm of Swords and into Feast for Crows.
Yeah.
And Dance with Dragons, because that's where like those books. You had 2 seasons where they covered
Storm of Swords is book 3, Feast of Dragons is 4, and then Feast for Crows is 5.
Yeah, so so you had 2 seasons where they covered Storm of Swords, and then they had 1 season where they tried to fit in both Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons, because they're basically the same timeline just following different characters between those 2 books.
Yeah, sorry, Storm of Swords is 3rd, Feast for Crows is 4th, then Dance with Dragons, and then Winds of Winter. Did that actually come out?
No, that's the one we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Winds of Winter. Winter farts.
Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring are the 2 that we're waiting on and probably are never going to see.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, the first 3, I was in high school reading those. I remember all of my algebra teachers yelling at me. Since you're so smart, you're just going to read a book. Why don't you come here and do these problems? Okay.
I need to see if the 3rd Name of the Wind book is out yet, actually. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
We lost
I've been
Jake.
waiting for that one for like 2 years.
So, I mean, that's an interesting plea. What state was that guy in? Did the article mention that?
Who? George R.R.?
No. The dude that died and tried to get off of his death row.
I thought it said Iowa.
Okay. They're pretty conservative, so I would imagine like a Vermont, it's like the birth of restorative justice, where they give pedos handicap stickers, things like that.
Wait,
like
they do that?
Huh?
They do that?
I know they particularly rolled that out in Greece, like around 2010, 2011. They were given it because it was a mental handicap is what it was declared. And so they give them handicap stickers so you can park closer to the playgrounds.
I was going to make that same joke. First row parking spot.
Yeah, but seriously, like Laura Ingraham has written many books on like the concept of restorative justice. One in particular is Power to the People. I got it on the shelf right over here. Because she's talking about that. So Laura Ingraham actually has bona fides. She was a secretary for Clarence Thomas. Before she actually became a talking head on the radio and TV.
Who's Clarence Thomas?
Our conservative hero on the Supreme Court.
The most based member of the Supreme Court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Besides maybe
as it
him
pertains
and
to
Neil
certain
Gorsuch.
issues, though, because he did cut his teeth in law as a prosecutor for Monsanto.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't love that. Okay.
I know you're never gonna find it perfect, but like
you're not gonna find a perfect guy. But
Neil Gorsuch and Clarence Thomas are pretty damn good on that.
You want to find a guy that finds opportunity in adversity. That dude. I mean, his biography, his autobiography is fantastic, man. Because like when he was trying to become a lawyer, Jim Crow was still in place.
Damn,
and he's trying to be a lawyer to defend racist white people, and like it's touching.
Now he sits up there and he just like writes some of the most like excoriating opinions and just like rips apart like leftist stuff.
Dude, especially since Scalia got murdered, like Thomas has been
Since
on
Scalia
one.
got murdered. That's the way you put it. Yeah, because he never talked before Scalia. He was like always the quiet guy, just sitting there and thinking it through. And now he's kind of
Now he's
really
like,
put
look,
himself out
Ginsburg's
there.
dead, Scalia's murdered. I'm shooting my shot.
Yeah, he's like,
This doesn't-
he's like, I ain't got long. I'm just gonna start. Yeah, because I mean, he's written like some of the most like brutal takedowns. Like, wasn't a whole bunch of the stuff that overturned Chevron him?
Yep. And you could tell he was sitting for years.
Just waiting to tear it apart.
I just need somebody to make this claim in court, and I can write this.
What were you gonna say, Zane?
I saw a stat recently that was all 9 justices ranked by the number of words that they had spoken like during the court session, and all 8 of them were pretty close together, except for Ketanji Brown Jackson was ahead of all of them by a mile.
I'm not surprised.
So now
we
we're
kind of
here.
lost Jake.
Yeah, I was like waiting for him to come back.
We
Okay,
can't end
while
the stream
we're sitting
because
here,
only Jake can end the stream.
okay, so while we're sitting here waiting for Jake or whatever, so we basically just
I
let
spy with
Israel
my
overthrow.
lie.
So we kind of just let Israel overthrow the Syrian government, didn't we? And give it to the Al Qaeda Bin Laden night head choppers.
Is it the Al Qaeda head choppers, or is it like the the ones we saw eating the hearts out on TV years ago?
This is the leader of the main group was Mohammed al-Jilani, who was the founder of the Nusra Front, which was Al Qaeda in Syria, sworn loyal to Bin Laden and Baghdadi for a while there before he split and did his own thing. And Nusra Front turned into some other group, and then it turned into Tahrir HTS, whatever.
Yeah.
Tahrir, whatever. Hayat Tahrir Sharon. Yeah. I'm not going to try it anymore, but yeah. So he's basically the one who took over the country. Yeah.
They all look rear. Yeah.
Yeah. So Al Qaeda Bin Laden night head choppers took over Syria, and we're giving them money or
well, if they're tied to Bin
providing
Laden, of course
airstrikes.
Bin Laden is us.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to tell Israel that they have to finish their Palestine before they can have any Syria.
Well, part of the thing was right after they took Damascus, they said they're going to Beirut next. So Israel seems to be quite happy with letting the Al Qaeda Bin Laden night head choppers kind of chase off all the Sunnis. I mean, all the Shia that seem to be giving them problems. At which point they're going to have Al Qaeda Bin Laden night head choppers on their border giving them problems, and then it's going to be give us money to take out the Al Qaeda Bin Laden night head choppers. So it's a mess.
Well, one thing my brother told me from his multiple tours, because there was times he was on the wall in Fallujah late at night. He's out there with the infrared, and he sees the heat signatures pop up, and he knows he's with 150 other Marines at this one base, and he's counting the dots. He's scanning. Oh shit! There's 500 of these guys. Like, we're done. And he looks over here. Oh my God! There's another 600. So we got 1,100 coming out of this 150. We're toast, And then they start shooting at each other, and he's watching all this, and then there's like 5 or 10 over here, and like 10 or 20 over here, and then they're just like pop 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 pop. Cool. They will fight each other over the opportunity to kill a white man.
Intentionally?
That's people of Judea
versus it's so tribal. It is so tribal. Like they are literally like, someone from my neighborhood must have this grandeur. No, this is my birthright. And then like they fight each other over who's going to kill the infiltrator.
Well, you literally had, when Obama started this Syria attempt to take out Assad 13 years ago, you had Pentagon-backed rebels fighting CIA-backed rebels. Like, it's, but what really, I'm really, and I want to get opinions on this, but did it come out of nowhere for anyone else? Like, I kind of had written off Syria, just like, yeah, there's there's territory in the east that's kind of there and nothing's really happening. And then Sunday I turn and I start seeing news reports that they expect the Assad regime to fall, and then all of a sudden Sunday night they're like, yeah, Assad left the country, and the Al Qaeda bin Ladenite head choppers have control of it. And I'm like, where did this come from?
Dude, I will never forget the Assad 60 Minutes interview. I mean, like, some of the stuff he came, just like when Netanyahu came to speak before Congress, and Obama was still president. I mean, like, that's our Martin Luther King speech. As much as I hate some of Netanyahu's policies, like when he comes in here and he's like, we're talking about existential threats. I'm not asking your permission. I'm telling you I'm doing this and I need help, and you want to consult me over whether or not my claim is valid. I'm going to kill these people near me. Like, it's already happening. I'm just here telling you what's happening, right? Like, my men are doing this right now. They have orders from me. I'm here not for your support. I'm just, telling you what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, was it a manufactured crisis? Yeah. On some level, sure.
Most are.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot are.
Well, I mean, it's the business model, right? Like, if you're not expanding, you're contracting. And when you're a small country already, when most of what you produce is high-end technology and virus and biological warfare, like, if that's the only thing that you really manufacture, then at that point you have to have war to base your business upon. I know they produce other things too, but I mean, like, that's their main thing. That's like the U.S. Like, what do we really make here? Other than crap food, it's weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And since the 50s, that's been the base of our economic model.
Yeah, I mean, when you have
police, we give weapons to both sides.
Yeah,
and if you give us more money, we give you the newer, better weapons.
Yeah, that's what you get when you have twice as many government employees than you do manufacturing employees in the U.S.
Weapons, cars, tech, and potatoes.
But the tech's not even manufactured here.
No, well, manufactured, no. It's designed,
some of it,
or
like,
whatever.
we make some of our own super chips.
Right, the really high quality stuff. Like,
like the Willow chip, guaranteed, made here entirely.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like
but
anything that's in your phone, not here. Like,
there's nothing consumer grade really getting made here right now. There's a little bit, but
not a lot.
Well,
not until
it's
they
stuff
get-
our military and our government was making 30 years ago.
Right. That's the thing. It's pioneered here, and then it's outsourced, and then that's the thing. It's designed here, but then made elsewhere.
You outsource the mass production.
Yeah.
And then you give it to the general populace.
You get the cutting
upper
edge
class
side.
Yeah. Then the upper class gets the new stuff and the better stuff.
Yeah. We do the same with weapons too, where we get an old fleet of weapons, tanks, jets, whatever, sell that to another country. Often, I think, start a skirmish somewhere, fund a war somewhere in order to sell the weapons somewhere.
Yep.
Is the problem of have a reason for selling the weapons to someone.
Well, and there's a documented history of that going back 150 years.
Did you guys see the Scott Horton interview with Candace Owens this week?
No.
He brought up the interesting point. I believe he brought it up on this. The interesting point that when we were pushing the Iran-Iraq, when we were letting Iraq kind of do whatever, what was it? That Iran was using American weapons because at that point they weren't enemies yet. But we were funding Saddam, who was using Soviet weapons at the time. And it was just like this whole, giant mess of everything.
Well, so the first time Saddam gassed the Kurds, he did that with our blessing.
Right.
But then the second time he did it, we were like, you bastard, you didn't ask permission. Now you're getting deposed.
You didn't play ball here, yeah.
Right.
You didn't follow the chain of command.
Yeah, you didn't run
Well,
that
that
through
was-
us, so we can set up a whole international narrative for why you're doing this.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that
now
was
this is
Desert
like
Storm.
genocide.
Yeah, that was Desert Storm too, where they were like, they basically gave him the blessing to take the northern oil fields, and he decided he was going to the coast.
Yep.
And they're like, no, you can't do that. Now we're going to attack you.
Right.
Donald
Right.
Rumsfeld shaking his hand in a photo, back in the day for that. And then part of the regime that goes in and takes over, 10, 20 years later or whatever, anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Well, and then
always-
the gas, the biological warfare that was the reason for us doing Desert Storm. All those missiles had "Made in America" written on the side of them. Made in USA, boom, American flag.
Yeah. It's like
You know,
the story for the first Iron Man movie, essentially, where he
Yes.
sees the missile hit the ground and it says Stark Industries. And it's
Yeah.
but that's such a real thing with our, Lockheed or whatever else, or
Well, and it's such a, I can't tell you how many, special forces guys and stuff I've talked to that, that come back, they're either just on leave or they've, fully retired. And they go over there genuinely believing they're there to defend democracy.
yeah,
These
for
guys
sure.
are a threat. We have to go over there. And he's like, and then I spend the next 9 months teaching a poppy farmer how to grow corn and tomatoes.
Yeah, or defending poppy fields, or
He's like half of my time I'm over here in this village teaching this poppy farmer how to grow corn and tomatoes and telling him poppy is bad, and then the other half of my time I'm back over here in this village guarding this guy's poppy fields.
That's what I'm saying. It's yeah. It's just depending on.
I mean, after a couple of weeks of that, you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
This is why I never joined the military. It's
Right.
just not for me. But
I mean, I've got friends that have personally handed off duffel bags of cash, to the village elder here, and with blueprints, of course, drawn up by the Army Corps of Engineers.
yeah,
Here you go. Here's how to build your well. Here's the money to buy the tech from a local guy, so we can support your local economy. You can get the pump, get the machinery that you need to build the sump to get this freshwater well
To
uphill
irrigate.
into your village.
yeah.
And they hand them a duffel bag of cash, and then 2 months later, 3 months later, there's no well. The village still has no water,
Oh yeah.
and the elder's gone.
Uh,
And then a month after that, he's at the front of a convoy of American-made vehicles shooting at him.
it's a fun circle.
Right? Like, what the hell's happening?
Well, I might have to get out of here at this point. It's getting a little late. I thought Jake was coming back at some point, but
Yeah,
I tried tagging him in the server. Do you want to call him real quick, Alden, and see what's going on?
I can call him and see if he's alive.
Yeah, hopefully a cougar didn't get him or something.
Hopefully Israel isn't going to be a sponsor soon.
One second.
Did you guys see Candace doing the USS Liberty interview yesterday?
No. Well, okay. So what happened there?
She did an interview with one of the survivors of the USS Liberty, like an hour interview, and put it out, and it's everywhere right now.
Oh, oh man, that's got to be a good one.
And I saw a lot of reactions, even some of the alternative, right leaning alternative voices on the internet. I didn't, I assumed it was this or this. I didn't realize that they were hit hundreds of times in broad daylight.
Yeah, it's not an accident.
Yeah,
It's not like a oopsie, you're right next to the enemy. No.
Oh, and then you were paid $250 and compelled to sign a I will never talk about this document.
Yeah.
A non-disclosure. And yeah, nothing.
He says he's troubleshooting, trying to figure it out. He says to hang on for 1 or 2 more minutes and then see if he gets back here. So I'll wait for a minute or two.
We're kind of stuck here because we can't.
He voted for Kamala.
Yeah, we can't end the stream, so we're here until Jake's.
We can't end it.
We're stuck here.
Oh no, this is our life sentence right here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can die, but just for a little bit to get out of this life sentence.
But I'm hoping that I was hoping Jake would be back to get to the funnies because I do need the funnies.
I was looking forward to the
that's
funnies.
An interesting thought though. So like the death thing, like could that get you out of an NDA? Like obviously it's not going to get you out of a life sentence in prison, but
There
like
you
an
go.
NDA
Or a marriage till death do you part.
Right. Or a marriage or medical debt or
is there anyone out there that's tried to almost kill themselves to get out of a marriage? That's brutal.
Student loans.
Student loans.
Loans.
I should do that one. Yeah.
I mean, like if I had a graduate degree in underwater basket weaving, to the tune of $750K, like
right.
At that point, I'm like, hey, where's Michael Jackson's doctor?
You got ripped off.
Propofol.
Everyone knows it's only $500K to do underwater basket weaving. You got hosed, my friend.
Yeah.
So suppose you're like 55 years old, and then you like die and then come back to life. What age are you when you come back to life? If you actually died,
are you
then maybe you're
reborn?
not 55 anymore.
That's actually a really interesting point, like on the technicality, because if you pick up where you left off, then I feel like, nope, serve your sentence. Like you are the same person, you're the same age. But if you identify as a newborn, see, now you have to identify as a newborn,
Yeah.
And then maybe you can date minors again when you're 60. I don't know.
Hey, jokes on the judge. those death row inmates are into that.
This got weird, but you know what? This is where the conversation of technicalities will
Yeah,
get
but at the same token, like you can't buy cigarettes, can't buy alcohol, can't vote, can't own property.
Right. Yeah.
You need a guardian.
A parental guardian, like a legal guardian. Yeah. Yeah. Which in this case would be the state.
Yeah.
Great. So you're out of prison and it's like out of the pan and into the fire. Like, that's no better.
So I'm sure that's like all these things are probably why the judge is like, absolutely not.
You're better off.
I'm not unraveling all of this just for your dumb ass.
I'm not tugging on this thread for you.
Yeah. And by the way, why did we revive you?
Yeah.
Like
that's
you're in a
what
life sentence.
Thinking.
Yeah, like people are doing the lethal injection. Obviously, we're all libertarians here, at least to some degree. We don't believe in the death penalty. We don't want the government to have a monopoly on murder.
I don't.
Because I also want to be able to do it.
Yes, exactly.
I don't want them to have all the
fun. We believe in free market murder. So I mean, at that point, like lethal injections, why is it a medical professional?
Why do you swab before? So
why isn't it Grandma Sue from the lunch line with the big ass man hands?
Yeah.
Well,
and why are you sterilizing the needle? It needs to be the dirtiest needle possible.
The swab makes no sense to me. The sterilizing.
Yeah. Like
what are we trying
none
to
of
prevent?
that. Like no. If you live, you're gonna have some organ trail shit. You're getting typhoid.
Yeah.
Well, you can't die before you die. We can't have that.
Yeah.
But if you live through this murder I'm inflicting upon you, you're gonna die immediately afterward because this needle came out of the sewer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of a good point. Like if you are serving a life sentence, that's why revive you if you? It doesn't make all that much sense because it's just back to.
And at that point, like I think Texas is the only state left that does this, but that's why the firing squad makes sense.
Texas does firing squad still?
Yeah.
No, I think it's Utah.
Utah. Okay.
I didn't know there was any state that did.
There are states that still do firing squad.
Damn.
All
right. Yeah.
Some are coming back with it because the lethal injection drugs are so hard to get.
Well, and not only that, but if you've been a dope head for 30 years, they can't kill you with this stuff.
I can name 30 things that if you inject it'll kill you. Like it's
but the drug protocols that they have, they aren't selling to the bureau to the corrections departants because
inject a bunch of air into the jugular and you'll die. Like you can do anything. Like I'm again not a proponent, but
right.
It's not hard to kill a person. Like
With all the fentanyl turning up in random people's Doritos, you would think that
Doritos?
fentanyl wouldn't be too hard to get your hands on.
Wait, is this a joke or is this a real story?
No, that's just a joke.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
It
God.
just seems like there's fentanyl in everything. You could
I was
just
gonna
use
say, is
that if
fentanyl
you're
derived
trying
from
to
dead
kill
babies? Like, what are we doing here?
Maybe Doritos are. I don't know.
Call back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Doritos, I haven't eaten in a while. I gotta go. I can't wait for Jake anymore. I'm sorry. I'm so hungry. Oh my God, no! He's calling me right.
Oh no, the drone's got Alden.
What?
Or
That's
Israel.
weird.
I don't know who got him.
Or did he do that on purpose?
That's not the normal turn off the screen, is
Yeah.
it? It looks like he pulled his camera.
All right. Well, another news: Bitcoin just dropped below 100K.
Yeah. We got up over it. We go down a little bit. You know, I'm waiting to see what actually happens, but I got my Bitcoin. I'm, you know, waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing.
It's amazing. Once it broke 100K, I forget. There's several government officials, but I think that like the former mayor of Miami was like the first one in the country to demand their salary be in Bitcoin, and he was all over social media. You know, who's the idiot now?
There was some NFL player that in his contract he said he wanted like half of his salary in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, one of them was Russell Okung, I believe.
Yeah.
It was Okung.
Alden, your camera looks disconnected or something. I don't know what's going on. I see you're trying to talk and say something. But yeah, we had what was it? I wanted to make a point there. I'm trying to think what it is. Oh, the whole Roger Ver thing, which is wild. And you know, let's put aside that I completely disagree with Roger Ver and do have issues with his behavior as far as Bitcoin Cash, and I think he's completely wrong about everything on that. But the you know, there's a big push going this week because they are trying to extradite him, and he was just on Tucker explaining his story and how the IRS is trying to extradite him for a potential 109-year prison sentence.
Wow.
So, do you know that story? What the story is there?
No.
So Roger renounced his U.S. citizenship, and when he was doing it, he made it very clear to his lawyers, like, pay them whatever it is. Don't cut corners. Do everything right. And so they did, and now the IRS has come back and said that actually you did it wrong. You actually owe us this, and so now you're evading taxes, and we're going after you for that. So he's in Spain, and he's facing extradition from Spain back here. All over him, the IRS not knowing what they want to do, changing up their mind on everything, and trying to extradite a non-U.S. citizen over taxes they claim he owes them.
Huh.
You know, now unfortunately, a whole lot of that Tucker interview is him laying out his whole, oh, well, see, here's how they hijacked Bitcoin, and of course, it's all open, just like speculation. He's like, you see, they hijacked it because they wanted it to just be a store of value and all the propaganda, and so someone got in there and they were censoring everything. And it's like, dude, Gavin Andreessen was the one on your side, and he was the one who was meeting with the CIA. So, like, let's not. So that was a.
Are we being removed?
Interesting.
This stream is haunted.
Yeah, I don't know if Jake is just trying to like hack his way back into his own stream. But he's saying me and you should have the ability to end it, and I'm like, I definitely don't.
I'm seeing the leave studio button.
Yes, do that.
Settings.
Yes.
No, but that will just remove me from the studio.
Oh.
That doesn't end the stream. Then you'll
Got
just
it.
be here by yourself.
Huh.
If you're still watching, thank you.
Right.
I don't know why.
Yeah, here we go. All right, let's just log off. It's been a while. So yeah, the stream is going to continue, but we are not going to be here. So see you later, Zane.
All right. Bye.